What's going on, you guys? I'm gonna try to keep this one short. I'm about 2.5 weeks out from the meet. Looking forward to it. No really big lifts coming up this week. Just kind of taking it easy. Easier, especially on my competition lifts. But building up and looking to hit some decently large numbers right before the meet, and then taper and hopefully have a good performance. So today what I wanted to talk about is training hard. Why I train hard, why you should train hard if you're trying to be a competitive powerlifter, and what I mean by training hard and being competitive. So I've got this question, or I've been hit with this question a couple times, where people ask, you're a powerlifter, why do you train your accessories so hard? Like, why do you push to failure? Or are you training to also do bodybuilding, stuff like that? And I always kind of find that funny because, the number one reason why I train hard is because I enjoy it. And I kind of thought that more people were in that same boat where they, just enjoyed training hard. But it seems more and more that that's not the case. But yeah, so reason number one why I train hard, I like that feeling of pushing myself to failure or beyond failure. I like getting out of a machine and being like, oh my God, I could not have done one more rep, or, I failed. Like, I pushed until I could not do anything else. That's a good feeling. It feels good to just, get it all out there. It's cathartic. And you feel like you've accomplished something. Anyway, the second reason, which is going to be more pertinent to everyone else, is that training hard is kind of what makes you progress, right? Now, does that mean that you have to train to failure on every exercise, every week? No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, if all of your accessories are taken to, RP 7 or RP 6 every week for every exercise, week after week, month after month, year after year, can you potentially make progress over that time? Yeah, as long as, you're being realistic with yourself and saying, okay, this week RP 7 on the, incline bench was around 100 pounds for 8 reps. The next week I did 9 reps and it was, still around that same RPE. And then the next, it was 10 reps at the same RPE. Okay, you can make progress doing that. But it does get difficult eventually to continue to make progress while keeping the RP relatively low, right? It's much easier to see and much easier to actually make sure you're making progress to go, okay, well, this week I started RP 6 and I was able to do this many reps at this weight on this exercise. So I'm going to go for an RP 7 set next week, and hopefully I'll add a little bit of weight and reps, or one or the other. And I will know I'm definitely doing more than last time. And, every block you should be able to do more than you did the previous block, for the most part, within reason. Your lateral raise sets of 10 might be a little bit stagnant because, or they can get stagnant because it's such a small muscle group that you're working, but you get the gist, right? So as you're going, if you're trying to really become like a competitive powerlifter, the reason that it's important to keep progressing is, one, to get stronger, right? And two, you do want to get bigger. People ask if I'm interested in bodybuilding. I love the sport of bodybuilding. I admire people who are able to do that. I have no interest in competing, as of right now, at least, in bodybuilding at all. But I am interested in putting on muscle, right? Why am I interested in putting on muscle? Well, a bigger muscle is a stronger muscle. The bigger that you can get, the more muscle, especially that you can put on your frame, the more likely you are to be stronger and to, you know, have a higher total. Especially like in your given weight class. If you are more muscular than somebody else in the same weight class as you, chances are you're going to be stronger than them, right? And that's what this is all about. The goal is to be as strong as you can in your weight class, or, you know, as strong as you can, period, for some people. But even ignoring the people who are just trying to be as big and freakish and strong as they possibly can, regardless of weight class, like even within your own weight class, if you look at someone else and you go, okay, well, that guy is 6'1" and he weighs 220 and he's like pretty lean, versus you look at a guy who's, you know, 5'8", 5'9", 220 and super lean. You know, it doesn't take an expert to know who's probably going to have a higher total, who's probably got more muscle mass per square inch, you know, of body frame. And so that's why, you know, that's my second reason for wanting to train hard and for always training hard, is because I want to be as big as I possibly can. I want to have as much muscle mass on my frame as I possibly can to hopefully, you know, obtain a higher DOTS. And for me personally, I know that pushing my accessories more so than my competition lifts is what works best for me. As you become more advanced, you know, you'll probably see that's true for yourself. The less experience you have with the competition lifts, the more you can push them without being overly fatigued. Your stimulus to fatigue ratio on the squat, bench, and deadlift are going to be better than they are as you get strong. So what does that mean? That means that on my competition lifts, like my competition squat, competition bench, and competition deadlift, I'm typically not doing quite as much volume at quite as high an RP as I'm doing, you know, like my high bar squats, or especially like my Larson pressing, my, you know, arm, shoulder, isolation movements, my quad accessories like hack squat or leg press or leg curls, or, you know, anything like that, because I can push those harder and really get a good stimulus without fatiguing myself, and continue to push that envelope of just trying to get bigger and put more muscle mass on my frame. So that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will add some clips and I'll see you guys in the next one.